Hi everyone, my name is Jerome Lartaud. I'm a founder and director of Domus Property Finder, an international buying agency. And today I'm joined by Romain Ligault. Bonjour Romain.
Bonjour Jérôme.
So Romain, tell us a bit more about yourself, your background and Henley Partners.
Hi Jérôme. As you know, I'm Romain Ligault. I'm a private client advisor for Henley Partners. And what do I do on a daily basis? I help families in securing a second citizenship or residence around the world. I've been in London for 15 years, been working in the alternative asset industry for that period of time. And I've been navigating the financial industry, the art industry as well as an art advisor before I joined Henley a bit less than 2 years ago. And I do oversee two main markets, which would be the UK first and foremost, but also certain regions in Africa. To be more specific, the French-speaking African countries such as Cameroon, DRC, Congo, Côte d'Ivoire, Senegal, and so on.
How many people are part of your team? Because you're a global company, I guess you might have quite a lot of offices and operations worldwide.
As of today, we've been operating for 30 years. We've been successfully assisting more than 25,000 private families. And we've grown quite exponentially because now we are roughly, I would say, more or less 500 employees spread across 60 offices. London remains one of the most iconic offices, goes without saying. And we recently opened a few offices in Africa, in Lagos, Abuja for Nigeria, in Accra for Ghana. We think that this trend will continue and we may be opening offices soon, perhaps reinforce our presence in the US again, because we tend to have more and more clients who are seeking guidance from us.
Okay. So since obviously you're fully aware of the migration, everything in the press about high net worth, ultra net worth, leaving, the UK to move, to different jurisdictions. What do you see? Henley Partners has recently published, a big report, which is very interesting. What are the main trends? What do you see happening compared to 5 years ago? Is there anything changing or?
Yes. So what I do find very interesting when it comes to the UK market is that, as you know, the res non-dum situation has created uncertainty, instability, and British people, but also foreigners, were looking to secure a second residence in EU or UAE, for instance. But at the same time, we're witnessing now an inflow of American citizens looking to consider the UK as well. And they're just knocking at our door because they're trying to consider a few options here. This is just my opinion, but when it comes to the forecast, we'll see more and more people looking to do risk mitigation at the end of the day and just secure that second residence or citizenship as a plan B, just in case.
So tell us a bit more with a client from the US, for example, looking to move to the UK. What area of, and depth of services would you offer to them?
So first and foremost, what we provide is guidance based on each individual situation. So it's a bespoke service we offer because what truly matters at the end of the day is for us to fully understand what our clients and what this family will be looking for, what they will be looking to achieve, what would be their main motivation. To me, the key thing is first to listen. And then I will be providing guidance. When it comes to American citizens looking to come to the UK, I would say that at the moment, there are not many options. The most popular one, I would say, was self-sponsorship, which came via the setup of a company. But I do hope that, and this is just my own view, obviously, I hope that the current government will be reinstalling, for instance, some kind of investor visa because this would help the UK attract investors again. But yes, it's whether it's going to be for the UK, for Monaco, Switzerland, we have 40 programs in place. And like I said, it's all about understanding what the family is looking to achieve.
And do you provide also advice on the sort of wealth management, asset management side of things as well, alongside the residency?
I think the reason why you and I are talking right now is because I do have my area of expertise, and so do you.
Yes.
And I think it is important for us when we advise important families, it's important for us to be able to assist the person. And if we don't know what the answer is, to know where to look and to introduce the family to the right person as well. Because I spend my days speaking with business partners and people who would be advising the exact same kind of families when it comes to super prime real estate angle, when it comes to the tax advisory, when it comes to the private banking, asset management, and the legal side as well, because it's far more complex than we may think it is. And we've been, in terms of families we've been advising, for instance, it goes from this family who will have a net worth of perhaps, I would say, $1 million, but it can easily go up to a few billions. So at the end of the day, that's what I said, it's bespoke service based on every family's desire.
Okay. And what do you enjoy the most in your job on a daily basis? What makes you, because you come from an art, advisory background, so it was, it was a bit of a jump into, a different array. But what do you enjoy the most with typically?
The human relationship, I'd say, because when I was working for the hedge fund, at some point I was acting as an investor relations, but also a capital raiser. And when I was in the art industry, I was helping families building their art portfolios, for instance, by acquiring or selling new artworks. So it very much is an in-depth relationship you build with a family at the end of the day. And that's exactly what I do as well with Henley. And what do I love is, like I said, this relationship first and foremost, but also the variety of families I'll be advising, because as you can imagine, whether I'll be advising families in the UK or in DRC or Cameroon, it comes with different values, different motivations. And I think it is building these relationships is what I find the most rewarding to me.
And it's very important, to provide, expert advice, but also tailored advice to each individual clients, because, they will have different idea on philanthropy, about investments, different philosophy about their lifestyle, etc., etc. So, what makes Henley Partners, the go-to for people looking to relocate? Because you seem to have established, a positioning as a leader in that field. So what is your USP?
Like I said earlier, we've been advising more than 25,000 families, so we do have an expertise regarding this matter. But we also have a second branch within the Henley Partners umbrella, which is dedicated to government advisory. So Mr. Dr. Kalin, the founder of Henley Partners, has provided guidance to countries who are looking to implement these programs, some of these programs, and to better understand how to attract new investors. So we will be knowing the programs by heart, which is one thing. And the reason why clients come to us is because of few criteria. So I would say first and foremost, when it comes to our clients, what they will be looking for is bespoke piece of advice. For each family we assist, there will be two people working for this family, for instance. There will be a relationship manager and someone like myself as well, who will be in constant touch with government officials, with agents, just making sure that everything goes well. The second reason why they come to us is because of our success rate. We have one of the best, if not the best, success rate on the market, and it's because we know these programs in depth. Thirdly, and I think it should actually be the first reason, we act with maximum discretion. We are a GDPR compliant firm, so to us, confidentiality and discretion in the way we operate is vital. We advise each year different kind of families, which can be royal families, politically exposed people, could be tech entrepreneurs, people from the mining industry, living in sensitive countries, for instance. So acting with discretion is the most important thing.
Of course. So what are some of the key challenges, for you in your job, in your role at the moment with this migration of people? I guess keeping up to date and, on the top of what is happening politically and economically in one region or country. What do you see as one of your biggest challenge at the moment in your role?
I think I'd say we have roughly more or less 40 programs in place covering the entire world. So what is important is for us to be up to date on a daily basis, because there will be change in regulations eventually, and this is something quite challenging, but we are always kept up to speed So no issue at all. But yes, because of these migration changes and with the current uncertainty that comes around the world, to give you a concrete example, last month we had plenty of requests from people looking to migrate to the UAE, for instance,
Okay.
or at least to secure a golden visa. But given the current situation over there, we still see people looking to secure a property, for instance, or open a bank account and just obtain their golden visa. But some may say, okay, given the instability happening over there, we may need a few more weeks to see and just process the information and digest everything. Because I'd say that for 95% of the people who are looking to secure a second residence, they will usually be staying in their home country. But for the 5% of them who are physically relocating, then as you can imagine, it's the same as buying a beautiful house. It's something engaging. And I'm not talking about the financial side. I'm also talking about the personal side. It's when you relocate somewhere, whether it's into a new country or into a new house, it's a family-driven process. And it's something quite unique. So we have to deal with constant instability, but we make it work.
So how much does real estate, underpin what is happening with motivation, with migration of people? How do you see that at the moment?
Yes, that's an excellent question, Jerome. And I would say that perhaps a dozen of our programs will be offering real estate as an investment vehicle. And as a matter of fact, it's actually one of the most desirable investment vehicles our clients just go for. Whether you'll be looking to secure property in Latvia, in Greece, Malta, you'll be given options, whether it's going to be residential real estate property, whether it's going to be commercial, or it can also be a land for a citizenship by investment in Turkey, for instance. So many of these families want to secure property because, one, it's a great way for them just to diversify their portfolio of investments. And two, at the same time, then they can secure that second citizenship or residence.
Do you foresee any more change happening in Europe at the moment? Because there's been talks of certain countries deciding to scrap some golden visa.
Yes, it's to answer your question, we've seen it. We've witnessed it with the Spanish program, for instance, who just ended this golden visa, because these golden visas are great tools for countries to secure new investment, new investors, and give a good boost to the economy until a certain point, until locals can't afford to acquire property.
And we've seen that recently with, all those riots in Portugal, in Spain, and in Italy, where they were throwing water to tourists because, the cost of living has increased, property prices have increased. Also, some countries and cities, like in Paris, are clamping down on Airbnb as well.
Exactly. We've witnessed a change. I'm not an expert, you're the expert in this field, but when it comes to Airbnb, I recently read articles written about Airbnb saying that cities, and I think that Barcelona, if I'm not mistaken, is one of them, were looking just to, I wouldn't say ban, but restrict.
Yeah, they will clamp down or put restriction or maybe put a license in place like they do in the UK with HMO.
Yes.
Where now everything is quite regulated or controlled a little bit more.
I do believe that regulation at some point is a great tool, because when a new market opens, which was the case, I wouldn't say recently anymore because Airbnb has been around for a few years now, then it's a great way to open a new market just to drive the economy and make more money for the individuals, for the companies. But at some point, there needs to be a bit of regulation. Otherwise, I'm sure we've all gone through this situation where we were renting a place via Airbnb and maybe the neighbors were unhappy with it, or with the constant flow of people coming and going.
And what does education play as a role, or as a trigger or as motivational factor for family to move from one country to another? Do you see that also as an important factor?
Yes, you're absolutely right. It's a key factor, and we actually do have a team in place specialized in education. Because for the families who are looking to relocate, then, like as we discussed earlier, it's sort of about covering the 360. We have families who say, okay, we want to find the best programs in place for our kids. What would you recommend? And I do believe that it is a great factor, but also a great factor for people to stay within the country. And as I've seen personally last year, we've seen many British families actually staying in the UK because their kids were studying in the UK, and we benefit from a fantastic education system in the UK.
So there are lots of good quality schools, be it in London or in the countryside as well. And also, I think it's very important, when I deal with international families looking to relocate, I work alongside educational consultants a lot, because they are here to provide advice and guidance on the best school for their children. And education is one of the top priority, let's face it, for lots of families. So it's very much, one of the important factors to take into consideration, I guess.
It is for sure, because at the end of the day, what we do, you and I, we provide wealth planning. We help to a certain extent when it comes to wealth planning. And at the end of the day, wealth can be perceived in many different ways. Education, to me, is one of them, and to our clients.
And you're totally right, because we both provide an advisory service, and I couldn't do my job without people like yourself, without lawyers, immigration solicitors, tax advisors, wealth managers as well. And it's very important for me to work alongside people like yourself to be able to better assist clients, service them to the full, and provide different area of expertise. So it's really good, to see the synergy we have between our businesses, and I'm sure we'll be looking forward to working in collaboration in the future. Well, thank you everyone for listening to this very engaging conversation, and thank you very much, Romain, once again.
Likewise, Jerome.
And if you want to find out more about Henley Partners, have a look at their website, and please stay tuned for more information about intermediaries in other videos I will be posting soon.